So let's start the new session, that is 5G new radio frame structure. So in this course we will understand the frame structure concept in 5G new radio, and we'll also compare that with 4G, and then we will look at frame structure for various numerologies 0, 1 and 2, and also then 3 and 4. After that we will try to visualize frame, subframe, slot, symbols for each of the numerology. May I request all of you to kindly keep your mic in mute mode when you are not talking. Chandrasekhar ji, can you mute your mic, please? Sorry, sir. Thank you. Okay, fine. Then we'll try to visualize frame, subframe, slot, symbols for each of the numerologies. And then we will understand the concept of resource grid, 5G new radio resource grid. And finally, we will talk about slot based scheduling and mini slot based scheduling. And this session we will also keep very interactive. I will be requesting all of you to kindly answer some of the questions which I may be posing, so that everyone is able to understand. And I also know that whether whatever I am going through, you are able to understand. Okay. So let us start with frame structure concept. So this is also, I have divided into 6 small parts. Part by part we will cover. So let us first understand what is the frame size, subframe size, slot size and symbol size. So there are 4 nomenclature: frame, subframe, slot and symbols. So let me ask, many of you perhaps are from telecom background, and some of you have also taken 5G training. So what is the frame size of 5G new radio? Can somebody tell me in the chat box? So so Nitin also said 10 milliseconds, Soumya also said 10 milliseconds, so you are right. And then what is the subframe size in 5G new radio? So there are many answers as 1 millisecond from, I think most of you are aware, 1 millisecond, right? So the frame size and subframe size are similar to the 4G, 10 millisecond and 1 millisecond. Then the next question is, what is the slot size within subframe? So basically what you saw here is that one frame will have 10 subframes of 1 millisecond duration. So what will be the slot size or slot duration? Can somebody tell me? So someone has answered, depends upon subcarrier spacing, depends upon numerology. Yes. So first of all, the number of numerology is 2 to the power. Number of slot is equal to 2 to the power mu. So for mu is equal to 0, so 1 slot, right? For mu is equal to 1, 2 to the power 1 is 1, is 2 slots. And for numerology 2, it will be 4 slots. So number of slots will keep on increasing. So what will be the slot duration? The slot duration here for mu 0 will be 1 millisecond, because 1 slot fits into subframe of 1 millisecond. If you have 2 slots, it will become half, 0.5 millisecond, then again 0.25 millisecond, and so on. So your slot size is decreasing, it's variable depending upon the numerology. So can somebody tell me how many symbols are possible in a slot? Yes, many of you have said 14 symbols. Very right. So 14 symbols per slot. So if you look at numerology 0, so you have 14 slots, 14 symbols even in the subframe, right? Because subframe is equal to slot size. Here you will have 2 slots in a subframe, so you can have 28 symbols per subframe, 56 symbols per subframe, and so on. right? So let us recap this again. So as we explained that our frame duration is 10 millisecond, right? And the frame will contain 10 subframe of 1 millisecond, 0, 1, 2, say up to 9. So this is your subframe. So subframe duration is your 1 millisecond. Now within this one subframe, you may have number of slots, either 1 or 2 or 4 or 8 or 16, depending upon the numerology. And that formula is 2 to the power mu. Mu is your numerology. So depending upon your numerology, you will have number of slots. For numerology 0, you have 1 slot. For numerology 1, you have 2. For numerology 2, you have 4. And then 8, then 16, right? Up to 16 number of slots. So accordingly, slot duration will reduce. And what is the formula for slot duration? It will be 1 millisecond divided by 2 to the power mu. So if mu is 0, it becomes 1, so 1 millisecond, then it becomes half millisecond, then it becomes 0.25 millisecond, then it becomes 0.125 millisecond, and finally it becomes 0.0625 millisecond for numerology 4. So now within a slot of a certain duration, starting from 1 millisecond to 0.0625 millisecond depending upon the numerology, in that slot there will be number of symbols. So the possible number of symbols in a slot are 14, but in some case it is less, it is 12. So what is that some case? That some case is your numerology 2, which is 60 kilohertz subcarrier spacing. When it is used for larger coverage, we use extended cyclic prefix. The number of symbol we are able to fit is only 12. So for mu is equal to 2, and when it is being used for a large coverage, we use extended cyclic prefix and we use only 12 symbols. Now what will be the size of a symbol? So in a broad, we can say that 1 millisecond divided by 2 to the power mu 14. This is rough idea. Exact would be slightly different. We will discuss it when we will go into detail. We will also calculate the slot duration. So symbol duration is also varying depending upon which numerology or subcarrier spacing we are using. So there is one question in the chat box. How is EMBB managed with higher numerology and high speed mobility with higher frequency band? So higher frequency band will definitely use higher numerology, and you are saying about high speed mobility. Yes. So so the way it has been designed, that as I said that it will support mobility of 500 kilometer per hour. So I didn't understand what will be the challenge if I have more speed related to the numerologies, right? If you have any further refinement in the questions, please come out. Okay, so let's proceed further. And this particular table is for you. That let us fill this table about number of slots in a frame and subframe, because we have understood. So one person should answer once, so that everyone is able to answer either in the chat box or using your mic. So for 15 kilohertz subcarrier spacing, can somebody tell me that? Uh, yes. So how many slot per subframe? One. Okay. For 30 kilohertz, how many slots? Two. Yes. And for 60? Four. And for 120? 8. And for 240? 16. Okay. The next table is symbols per frame, number of symbols per subframe. So within 1 millisecond, how many symbols will be there? 14. And for numerology 1, how many symbols will come? 28, because you have 2 slots, so 14 plus 14. And for 56, because you have 4 slots, each will have 14, either 56 or 12 into 4, both are the answer, right? So 48, right, depending upon the usage of 60 kilohertz. And then 120 kilohertz, how much? 112. And then 224, very right. So everyone is correct. Now how many slot per frame? Slot per frame. So one frame will have 10 subframes. So how many slots would be possible? A slot, I am talking slot, not 140. So 10, yes, you are right, because, and here 20, then 40, then 80, and then correct. And now symbols per frame. So 14 symbols in 1 millisecond. So in 10 millisecond it will be 10 times. So 140, 280, 560 or 480 depending upon, right? Then 1120 and then 2240. Yeah, correct. So thank you. So I think everyone has understood. So now let us recap. For every subcarrier spacing, what is the frame structure? I am doing it for every subcarrier spacing so that all of you can understand in a better way. Those who slightly missed also will be able to understand. So for 1 millisecond, for 15 kilohertz subcarrier spacing, that is numerology 0. So what is the frame duration? 10 millisecond. 10 millisecond. And what is the subframe duration? 1 millisecond. And how many slots? 1. So what is the slot duration? 1 millisecond. So how many symbols per slot? 14. So in a subframe I will have 14 only, and in a frame I will have 140. Very nice. So I think everyone has understood. So let's do it for. So on the right side there is a correct answer, and you all have answered correctly. Now let's look at uh, for 30 kilohertz, right? We are not single duration. So the very first slide you have also mentioned single duration. So symbol duration, we have a detailed calculation in subsequent slides because it is not straightforward. Although in the first slide I say rough calculation is 1 millisecond divided by that one, right? So, but that is not straightforward and that is not a right answer because your cyclic prefix, right, are not uniform across all the symbols, right? So one a single slot duration will not, I mean there will be a single slot duration, but there is no simple calculation like we are doing for all these parameters, right? So we will do that after this frame structure. I have a session on, I think I have already shared the slides on cyclic prefix and also the timing unit. So along with that we will calculate symbol duration, right? Okay, so let's try to fill this. So this frame duration and subframe duration is always common for all the numerology, that is 10 millisecond and 1 millisecond. So how many slots I have in a subframe for 30 kilohertz subcarrier spacing? 2. Correct. And then so what becomes the slot duration? If I have 2 slots in 1 millisecond, so it will be 0.5 millisecond. And number of symbols per slot? No, per slot. Per slot is same, right? 14. Per subframe will be double, right? Because 2 slots. 28. And per frame it will be 10 times of this. 280, right? Okay, great. Now let's take the 60 kilohertz quickly. So here your frame and subframe is same, 10 millisecond and 1 millisecond. So now straight away, let us write 10 millisecond, 1 millisecond. And then how many slots now I have? 4. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 slots. So slot duration becomes 1/4. So how much? 0.25 millisecond. And then number of symbols per slot is how much? 14. So just see that within a very small time I am able to accommodate 14 symbols. So overall in 1 millisecond I am able to pack more data, you can say. So how many symbols per subframe? 56, because you have 4 into 14 is your 56, and in a frame becomes 10 times, that is 560, right? Very nice. So and yeah, so in that case you have to calculate it by 12, right? So basically let me tell you that the 60 kilohertz subcarrier spacing is used in FR1 and also in FR2, if you recall my session last time. So when it is used for larger coverage in FR1, right? Larger coverage means lower side of the frequency, FR1. So what happens is you require here you just see your slot duration is only 0.25 millisecond, right? Whereas for 30 kilohertz or 15 kilohertz it is better, 1 millisecond or half a millisecond. So within that 0.25 millisecond, I have to accommodate for inter-symbol interference, in the sense that if multi-path transmissions are happening, so the symbols will be reaching to me in different point of time. So I need to keep certain time as a guard time, we call it cyclic prefix, right? So that means I need to have a larger cyclic prefix if I am using it for a slightly more coverage, right? So here we use extended cyclic prefix, right? But if I use it for FR2, generally I will be using for a small cell. So the distance coverage or the cell size is less. So the time guard required is less compared to the other one. So there I use a normal cyclic prefix, and here I use extended cyclic prefix. When I use extended cyclic prefix, actually I am consuming the time for cyclic prefix, so I am able to accommodate only 12 symbols. Is that okay? Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah. So that is the beauty of OFDM, right? Because of the OFDM, the way your signals are orthogonal and they don't interfere, that property is actually the key. That even at higher speed, because as I said that for V2X, again 3.5 megahertz frequency would be one of the key frequencies. So V2X means the car would be running at a speed, right? And will be using a kind of a numerology, maybe 30 or 60 kilohertz. So it will be possible that a fast moving vehicle will be able to use the mid-band part of the frequency and also the numerology, mid-numerology. So that is, I mean, the way it has been designed, it will work. One question. Yeah, please. Sir, like we are using a different numerology, and when we are moving from 50 kilohertz to 60 or 60 or 120 kilohertz, so in a smaller size, we are incorporating more bits actually. Yes. So the chances of losing data or like the quality of data will definitely. I mean, it looks theoretically. I mean, it looks. So very right question, Hitesh ji. Very right question. So basically, Just look at, suppose example is millimeter wave, right? And millimeter wave, I'm using say 120 kilohertz subcarrier spacing, that is numerology 3, right? So in millimeter wave, just see your coverage is very small, right? Or coverage is very small, right? So within that coverage, we are talking about small cells. We are not talking about a large coverage with higher numerology, because that will create problems. So your coverage is also less. You are using higher frequency band, higher numerology, right? And inside that, we are also talking about level of modulation, which QAM you are using, right? So you can use up to 256 QAM. So depending upon the signal quality, you will decide which QAM you are trying to use. So within a small coverage also, if you are nearer to the base station, we will use the higher QAM, say 256 QAM. If you are slightly far away, maybe 64 QAM. If it is again slightly far away, 16 QAM, and at the edge you may be using only the QPSK or 4 QAM, right? So depending upon your distance, so you have not only the numerology, but you also have the different QAM. So you will be using it accordingly as per the signal quality which QAM you have to use, and numerology will be used as far as the frequencies are concerned. Is that okay, Hitesh?
Yeah, I mean, we are on the same plan, so little one more doubt.
Yeah.
So if we are using the higher and neurology, and at the same time we are using the higher farm, so we are basically sending the more bits.
Yes.
And we have, because neuro is higher, so the float is lower. I mean, lower.
Yes, yes.
The chances to lose the data is high. So is there any like a factor to know the like if we are really losing the data and we need to change the plan? Second thing is if yes, then what are the remedy to fix this? Like apart from the
So let me explain to you. That will be possible when we visualize that when I am using a slot size of smaller slot size, right? You might have you might recall that at that point of time, my the bandwidth, the RB bandwidth is more. You understand that? So although I have squeezed the time, but I have increased uh, the bandwidth, right? Because 30 kilohertz RB is 30 into 12, 60 kilohertz 60 into 12. So basically, you are increasing in frequency domain and you have decreased in time domain. So to achieve your latency, right? You got my point. So your carrier capacity is high, more, your time is less, but overall it is equal, right? So if you increase time, you are decreasing your the subcarrier spacing. So that way you see the one unit is more or less same, right? Okay. Okay, so let's proceed, right? So for 120 kilohertz subcarrier spacing, which is numerology 3, so let us calculate. So the frame and subframe is same, 10 millisecond and 1 millisecond. So how many slots per subframe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. And then what will be the slot duration?
1.25.
0.125 millisecond, right? Very nice. Then how many symbols per slot? It is always 14. But how many symbols per subframe? One subframe is having 8 slots. So 8 into 14, how much? How many? 116. 112? Yes. Okay. So how many symbols per frame?
11220.
Correct. Yes, you are right. Now let's look at the last one. 240. So how many slots per subframe?
16.
Yes, 16, because there are 16 slots in one subframe. So what will be the slot duration? Again, it will become half and it will become 0.0625 millisecond or 62.5 microsecond, you can say. So how many symbols per slot? It is always 14. So in a subframe, how many it can accommodate? 14 into 16, how much? 2 to 4. And then in a complete frame I can have 2240. So this is the highest. But please remember 240 kilohertz sub-carrier spacing is not used for data as of now up to release 16. Only the synchronization signal is using 240. Up to 120 it is defined that data can use this numerology in sub-carrier spacing.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
For mixed numerology, at what level this is different? Like each subframe can have different numerology, or is it like each level can have?
So basically, if you go further in the slide, what we are saying that for so within a slot also it is possible to have two different numerology. When you talk about dynamic spectrum sharing between say 4G and 5G, there what we do is that the signaling part, the synchronization signal is using say 30 kilohertz subcarrier spacing, and uh, data is using 15 kilohertz subcarrier spacing. So within the same resource grid, right? Whenever there is a time and frequencies are for signaling, synchronization signal in particular, the numerology used is 30 kilohertz, and for rest of it numerology used as 15 kilohertz. And why we are using 30 kilohertz for synchronization signal in that case? Because synchronization signals require certain number of symbols, right? Whereas when we are using kind of a 4G and 5G together in a dynamic spectrum sharing, since 4G have certain always on transmission, so you will not get that number of symbols, continuous symbols for synchronization signal. But if you use 30 kilohertz, within the same 1 millisecond you are able to accommodate double of the symbols. So there you are using mixed numerology. I hope I was trying to give example that how mixed numerology can be used within the grid or subframe itself in a particular use case.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. Okay, so this is summary of all the numerologies in that I had drawn in an Excel sheet and for you broken into parts for explaining. So numerology 0 to 4, total 5 numerology, subcarrier spacing 15 kilohertz to 240 kilohertz, slot duration starting from 1 millisecond goes up to 0.0625. Your number of slots in one subframe, you have 1, 2 and up goes up to 16, and number of symbols in 1 millisecond subframe from 14 to 2 to 4 and a frame 10 times. So I think everyone has understood this. Now let's move to next topic that let us visualize, which I tried to answer in a Hitesh question, that why I am saying visualization, because in infographics people will understand better that here within 1 millisecond subframe you have one slot in 15 kilohertz, two slots in 30 kilohertz, four slots in 60 kilohertz. So basically just see that on frequency side we are doubling, but on the slot duration side we are becoming half. So here if you look at this, that on the x-axis you have duration. So here you have 1 millisecond duration, larger duration, but 15 kilohertz subcarrier spacing. If you go to 30 kilohertz, your duration has become half, but your frequency has doubled. In 60 kilohertz, duration has again become half, your subcarrier spacing has doubled, and so on. So basically you can visualize that in subcarrier, that is frequency resources has doubled, but your time has reduced. So this is I am able to have low latency, because within that duration you will be able to pump more and more data. So your latency will be better in higher numerology. But your subcarrier spacing is more, that means RB bandwidth is more.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
So with the earlier slide,
use cases like IoT or V2X? Because you said that longer to start duration, lesser is the data.
So basically, if you talk about IoT, IoT will come here, right? If you talk about suppose there is a stadium where lakhs of people are sitting and they are using higher data rate, so there will be a set of small cell deployed using say this scenario. So this is a kind of EMBB use case when a high connection, I mean number of users are very dense. So here you will deploy a small cell. So a stadium may have 10, 15 or 20 small cells depending upon the requirement, right? And maybe if you talk about say V2X, V2X will fall somewhere here, V2X in a mid band with a subcarrier spacing of say 30 kilohertz. So in that sense, suppose there is an indoor coverage. Suppose there is an indoor coverage in unlicensed band, right? So that may fall 60 kilohertz and that 5 gigahertz frequency band, right? Where you have around 160 megahertz of the bandwidth available in unlicensed band. So that way the different use cases will be there. If you talk about industry 4.0 where a lot of sensors would be installed in the industry. So there is a so they will utilize maybe the this band, I mean lower side because they may require deep coverage into basement and all. And on the floor SOP they can use even these frequency bands, right? On a floor SOP they can use it, but they may have double frequency, one lower side and one mid band side because they would be having camera feed live, so bandwidth requirement will be more. So maybe this one and for IoT sensors wherever installed the lower part of the frequency. So depending upon the use case, they can mix and match different numerology, frequency band, etc. Is that clear?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Right.
You were right that 240 kilohertz is not available for data.
So I'm not saying not advisable. As per the specification, they have not specified yet. Maybe in the subsequent releases they will try to do it. Okay. So just visualize the symbols that within 1 millisecond you have 14 symbols. Here within half millisecond you have 14 symbols. Here within 0.25 millisecond you have 14 symbols. Here within 0.125 you have 14 symbols, right? Uh, but your RB bandwidth is doubling. Here you have 180, 115 to 12 is 180 kilohertz. It will be 360 kilohertz and so on. So it is doubling, but your duration is reducing, but you are able to pack 14 symbols within the same duration. Okay, now let us go to an important concept of resource grid. So how many of you know resource grid and what is resource grid? If some of you would like to answer. Or in chat box just say do not know or something.
The structure of the RBs and TRBs.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else would like to add to it? Or just say, okay, grid of resource element, Nitin had said, very right. Yeah, please go ahead and write something in the chat box. If you do not know, just say do not know. Okay. You guys are very hesitant in writing chat box. Okay, fine. So let's move. Okay, so let's look at grid. How the grid is defined. So just look at the picture on the right side. So a resource grid is what? One subframe in time domain. So one subframe is 1 millisecond. So here if you look, so this one from this place to this place is kind of one subframe, right, of 1 millisecond. This is this direction, and on the other direction it is the full channel bandwidth. Full channel bandwidth, that means number of subcarriers. These are number of subcarriers. So depending upon the channel bandwidth, if I have say 5 megahertz, so 5 megahertz minus guard band divided by 12, so I'll get number of subcarriers. If 10 megahertz, I have double the subcarriers. So depending upon the numerology and channel bandwidth, I'll have set of subcarriers. So the full carrier bandwidth in this direction and 1 millisecond, whatever number of symbol I am able to pack. For example, for numerology 0, I have 14 symbols in 1 millisecond. For numerology 1, I have 28. So that's why these are symbols, right? 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 like that. It can be 14, it can be 28, 56, depending upon the numerology. On this side, these are the subcarriers, right? 1 subcarrier, 2 subcarrier, 3 subcarrier, 4 subcarriers, and depending upon how many subcarrier I have, it is there, right? So this is your resource grid, and from here the resources are allocated, right? How many symbols and how many number of subcarriers or RBs are getting allocated to one user at a particular time, and that allocation happens every subframe duration or slot duration, right? So every slot you allocate which resource out of this grid is allocated to which user, right? So is there only one resource grid or there can be more than one resource grid? So there can be resource grid for each transmission direction, that is each uplink and each downlink. If there are parallel transmission, so that many grid for that direction will happen, right? In addition, for every antenna port, subcarrier spacing and transmission direction, for every set of these three, antenna port, subcarrier spacing or numerology and transmission direction, there will be a resource grid getting transmitted. So I hope it is clear that what is resource grid.
Then one resource grid can be allocated to many users.
Many users or even single user, depending upon, if I am the only user, right, in a cell, so entire resources, time and frequency resources can be allocated to me. If there are many users, then accordingly, depending upon the subscription level, depending where I am, how much my signal quality is, particular resources can be allocated.
Here, the characteristics of this resource grid should be different for different video values.
Yeah, so the resource grid remains same. Numerology changes. So numerology means the radio changes, right? How you receive or how you decode signal changes to some bit. Otherwise, the grid is same. Grid is not different, but it's a separate grid for each numerology.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying, because you said, that point says full carrier bandwidth in the frequency domain. Frequency domain, this change actually.
So basically, so for every carrier component, if the used numerology is different, so you have, that's why the second line, that for every antenna port, subcarrier spacing, that is numerology, and transmission direction, you have a unique resource grid. So for every numerology, you have a different resource grid, right? Okay. So same picture rotated this side for clarity, that those who have not understood that this is your one subframe duration, which can accommodate 14 symbols or 28 symbols or 56 symbols depending upon the numerology. On this side you have your subcarriers, which will depend upon the numerology and the channel bandwidth. If you divide channel bandwidth by your subcarrier spacing, after reducing the guard band, you will get number of subcarriers, and if you divide that by 12, you will get the resource blocks. So 12 subcarriers are one resource block consecutive. So in this picture, every box is what? Every box is one subcarrier for one symbol duration. One subcarrier for one symbol duration, right? And these are called resource element, right? So every box is called RE or resource element. And how do you know that what is the location of resource element? So this is defined by K comma L, and K is your subcarrier number. Suppose if it is a number from 0, 1 and so on, so you know that which location it is in terms of subcarrier and which symbol it is. If it is counted from here 0, 1, 2, so which symbol number it is. So basically L value. L is symbol and K is your subcarrier position. So you can identify each resource element. This is the lowest unit in 5G resource grid. Okay, so now what I did, I tried to make a resource grid for certain parameters in Excel sheet and I have copied it here. So I have taken 24 RBs. So 24 RBs means 288 subcarriers. So almost equal to 5 megahertz of bandwidth. In 5 megahertz, you actually have 300 subcarriers. I have taken 288. And numerology, I have taken 15 kilohertz. When I have taken numerology 15 kilohertz, that means in 1 millisecond, I will have one slot, and then I have only 14 symbols. So just see this 1 millisecond subframe. So I have accommodated 14 symbols, 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 13. On a subcarrier side, since I had 288 carrier, so I have numbered it 0, 1, 2 and up to 287. So this is a resource grid for say about 5 megahertz channel bandwidth having 288 subcarriers, and neurology being used is 15 kilohertz. So this I mean how your grid will look like, and every box which you see here is one subcarrier for a one symbol duration. Now let us take one more example, the second example, and then I think it will make you much clearer. So here again I have taken 24 RB, so 288 subcarriers, but numerology is 30 kilohertz. So that means I have taken around 10 megahertz of bandwidth, but since I have taken 30 kilohertz subcarrier spacing, I have 24 RB and then 288 subcarriers. Since I am using 30 kilohertz, so my slot size is 0.5 millisecond. So I have two slots in this period, 1 millisecond subframe. So that means I have 14 into 2, that is 28 symbols. So just see, I have accommodated 28 symbols, 0, 1 up to 28 here, 27. And on subcarrier side I have 0 to 287, so 288 subcarriers. So if you look at my resource grid, it has kind of doubled in terms of number of symbols, right? But subcarrier, and so from the previous one, the only difference is that I have doubled the subcarrier spacing and also the channel bandwidth. So the resource grid looks like this. So for every combination of subcarrier spacing and channel bandwidth, you can create a resource grid, right? So basically, approximate chain, because 288 subcarriers, if you do 288 subcarriers into 30 kilohertz, you'll get around 8 point something megahertz of the frequency band. Just try and do it. Right? It is not exactly 10 megahertz. I am just giving an example. For simplicity, I have taken 288 carriers. You can take, you can just increase this number to about 600 subcarriers in case of a 10 megahertz. Sorry, about 300 subcarriers. Just multiply this 288 by 30, you'll get around that. Yeah, you can use. So for example, as I said that for the same, I think you recall one of my slide in the previous one where I had shown that on the lower frequency band I can use 15 kilohertz, 30 kilohertz, 60 kilohertz, 128 kilohertz. The only problem is that if you are using the lower frequency band, 15 kilohertz subcarrier spacing for a smaller coverage, right? Smaller coverage, then you are actually you are losing some of the resources in time domain, because 15 kilohertz subcarrier spacing is designed for a larger coverage with larger cyclic prefix. If you are using for a smaller coverage, actually you are losing some time resource. So every numerology is designed to support certain frequency band and certain latency requirement. So if you use it, otherwise technically you can use it, but it will have some disadvantage in terms of losing some of the resources.
And sir, just for the sake of example, we are taking 24 resource slots.
Yeah, this is just an example. Otherwise, if you recall my last session, I had given a table that for 5 megahertz there are 25 RB already defined, right? So instead of 24 RB in this example, in fact there will be 25 RB overall, because 5 megahertz will have 25 RB maximum. Just divide by 15 kilohertz after subtracting guard band. So that table shows that how much guard band to be reduced, and then divide by the subcarrier spacing. So you get 25 RBs, right? So for every channel bandwidth and subcarrier spacing, number of RBs are already fixed, right? And this is just an example to showcase that if numerology changes, our resource grid may number of REs gets doubled, right?
Yes, I got it.
Okay. So this I have already explained that the resource element or RE is the smallest physical resource in NR, consisting of one subcarrier during one symbol, right? And we identify this by K comma L, where K is the index in the frequency domain and L refers to the symbol position in time domain, right? Okay, so now we will talk about scheduling, slot based scheduling and mini slot based scheduling, right? Scheduling means when we should allocate resources in time domain and frequency domain. So what could be the unit of allocations when I should allocate, right? So let us look at slot based scheduling. So basically it depends upon the numerology. If you see, so if it is numerology 0, so my slot size is 1 millisecond. So what I do, that every 1 millisecond I allocate resources, that is your resource elements, to different users. So I do not allocate resources within 1 millisecond if it has started running, right? So only at the new start of 1 millisecond, next slot, I allocate different REs to different users. So this is called slot based scheduling. So how fast I can allocate resource depends upon the numerology. Suppose I am using 120 kilohertz subcarrier spacing. That means I will be allocating resources every 125 millisecond. So just see an example that suppose a data stream has come, right? And that is to be allocated, resource to be allocated. So if I am using 15 kilohertz subcarrier spacing, maximum wait time will be 1 millisecond. But if I am using 120 kilohertz subcarrier spacing, maximum wait time possible is 125 microsecond or 0.125 millisecond. So latency is better in which numerology? Can somebody answer? Higher numerology, because the allocation of resources are faster, right here. Whereas allocation of resources are kind of slower, because every 1 millisecond I allocate the resource. So I have to wait. The data will wait there in a buffer and then allocation may happen. So higher numerology, better latency here also. So in every design it is designed in a way that the latency is better in higher numerology. So now in slot based scheduling, so there can be many configurations, right? So one configuration is for downlink heavy transmission. In that sense, what will happen is most of the symbols in a slot can be allocated for downlink and few for uplink. If the transmission is uplink heavy, then most of the symbols in a slot, I am talking about slot, can be allocated for uplink. Now there is a case like LBT. Anybody of you can tell me what is LBT? What is LBT? This is something about Wi-Fi. Yes. Bhargavi ji has answered listen before talk. Yes. So in Wi-Fi concept, what happens is that if you have a Wi-Fi hotspot at your home, so many of your devices, multiple mobile phones and etc., laptops are connecting to that particular hotspot, and all devices can use data simultaneously, but there are chances of collision, right? That suppose one device is already using the resources, if other device start transmitting, there will be a collision. To avoid that, the concept is listen before talk. So your device keeps listening to the network, and whenever it is free, it transmits the data or use that particular data for transmit on the sea. In such scenario, to support, so 5G, as we discussed, that also work in unlicensed band. So in unlicensed band where Wi-Fi will also be working, so 5G transmission has also required to listen before talk, right? So that's why there is a delay start concept. So in 5G there is a delay start concept. So just see that allocation of resources are happening not from the initial symbol of a slot but slightly later to accommodate LBT kind of requirement. Other requirement could be that if some of the base stations are having some issues, not issues, we call it relaxed base station synchronization requirement. So there also allocation has to be slightly late so that data is not lost. So this concept is also available in 5G. That is part of slot based scheduling. Mini slot we'll discuss in next slide to make you clear. Now there is a concept of slot aggregation for downlink heavy transmission. So earlier we were talking about allocation for a slot. It is possible to allocate multiple slots, this slot and upcoming slot, also for say downlink. It is for downlink heavy transmission. If suppose video streaming is going on and it is likely to continue, so more than one slot gets allocated at the same time, right? Even before start of the slot, allocation has been done in advance. Similarly for the uplink also, it is possible to aggregate some of the slots. So this is called slot based scheduling of 5G. Now let's look at mini slot based scheduling. So I was just telling you example in slot based scheduling, that suppose this slot has just finished and next slot has started. Now at this point of time some data is coming which is ultra reliable low latency data, right? So URLLC data, and if I am using say 1 millisecond or half a millisecond, I have to wait for that period. This data has to wait for that period till some resources gets allocated. But URLLC being a time sensitive, latency requirement is high, it is not advisable that it waits for slot duration, right? So there is a concept of mini slot. That means within the ongoing slot time period, some symbols can be allocated. We call it mini slot, right? So that we have further improved the latency. Even if it is say 125 microsecond wait time, if I am able to allocate in the mid of the slot, so my wait time becomes half or even less than that, right? So basically the concept of mini slot is that we are kind of puncturing into a ongoing slot and allocating some of the symbols for carrying data, particularly of URLLC type, time sensitive. So this is the concept of mini slot. But how many such symbols can be allocated in that slot? So that is already defined, that either 2 symbols or 4 symbols or 7 symbols, depending upon. Suppose the data arrives slightly late, so maybe 2 symbols can be allocated. And all these URLC kind of applications are not data hungry. They are more requiring the latency and reliability, and data requirement is less. So such applications can use concept of mini slot. So basically we have moved to a non-slot based scheduling. So last time also there was some question. So in this case there is a concept of non-slot based scheduling, particularly for URLLC, and this becomes the minimum scheduling unit in 5G new radio. Any question on these two aspects from any of you?
So just while allocating this mini slot on the ongoing slot-based scheduling, uh, won't be there any data or symbol loss for the ongoing uh, allocation?
So the way they have designed that there will not be data loss, but your synchronization requirement is very high in this sense, right? That the time and frequency synchronization has to be very perfect, right? Because within slot we are puncturing at symbol level and putting the data. So the synchronization is the key requirement. So if the OEMs are able to support that, they will be able to support mini slot and without loss of any symbol. And yes, it can be on a dynamic basis. The network can configure depending. Basically, they would always define that for a particular service whether mini slot can be configured or not. So that configuration will already be there in the network. That not that any traffic they can do a mini slot. Only a specific use case, right, where quality of service requirement of that latency is there. So those are pre-configured, that a particular service requires a set of QoS, and to achieve that set of QoS, if mini slot based scheduling would be required. So only for those applications these things will come into picture, not a general one. So generally slot based scheduling will continue. So this is only for URLLC.
Okay, so can there be like a scenario where in our 120 kilohertz slot, we are reserving few of the slots for mini slot?
No, we are not reserving. Allocation is dynamic, but only certain application gets this chance. Fine. So I think okay. So what are the different use case of mini slot? So one is that to support low latency, that is URLLC, and then I mean, so you are able to even schedule for the same and different U within a slot, right? Within a slot, I mean, part of the slot you are able to allocate to same or different UE for URLLC applications. And the third application is the dynamic spectrum sharing. As I explained earlier, that for dynamic spectrum sharing, when you kind of use LT frame and also within the same time you are using NR frame, and LT have certain always on transmission on control side, so you don't get required number of symbols for synchronization or other purpose, because every 1 millisecond you have to allocate either to 5G or to 4G. But with the concept of mini slot, it will be possible to use 4G frame for 5G transmission. I think when I hope you guys have gone through dynamic spectrum sharing session. I saw in the timetable DSS is already covered or not covered. Can somebody confirm? Whether DSS has been covered in your sessions by earlier speakers? Yes or no? Somebody can write in chat box. Okay, then I'll try to cover within my period. That is very important to understand. Okay, so with this, my session on frame structure is over, and now we have uh, the third quiz, which you can do it for 10 minutes, and then we will discuss it and close it for today. So just take 10 minutes time. May I request Talentes team to share the third quiz, which you can try and do in the next 10 minutes.
So sir, if just in case if we don't do now, so up to what time we can do this?
So tomorrow end of day we can open it, no issue. But try to do it so that we discuss it, and you can also ask questions and then reattempt or improve your score.
Alright, so sir, but whenever you give time, please give us little extra time because
So tomorrow, I mean,
3 a.m.
tomorrow end of day, is it okay, or you need more?
One more extra day, sir, because at my place it is 3 a.m. midnight.
So okay, so what I'll do is I'll make it till 21st end of day, this particular quiz, right?
Alright,
But please do attempt right now for next 10-12 minutes, and we will discuss it here itself, right?
sure, sir, sure. Thank you.
Sir, I have already submitted this quiz. Can you confirm for me if you received the response? Because it was written, sent in the mail that it will be
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. If you have already attempted, it is fine. Let me see.